Let's start off with the hair and products that I'm using. So for the boho hair, I'm using Ibiza Deep 18-inch bundles, and I'm using 2 of them. She brought 3, but we ended up using 2 in total. And you can see it comes on a weft. So these are just regular wefted bundles, and I'm going to cut them off and cut them up and put them on my rack. For the braiding hair, I'm using freetress kids hair in 28 inches. I decided to use a kid's hair length because this is a bob, and you really don't want to be using longer hair because then you're going to have to cut it. So I was looking for the shortest hair possible, and this is what I found. My goal for this style was to have more of the boho hair than braids. This is human hair bundles, so she should be able to finger through them, detangle, add water, conditioner, that type of thing. She was going to Jamaica, so this hairstyle would be perfect for swimming, doing excursions, that type of thing. And since it's a bob, it's going to be light and airy. Moving on to my client, Shakira washed and conditioned her hair at home and came blow dried already, so we were ready to start as soon as she got there. So here I am taking out her plaits, and I'm gonna start putting in my foundational parts, which are 6 large parts throughout the whole head, just so that I can work in smaller sections. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with my parting charts, the sizing for these braids that I'm doing is going to be medium. So that's going to be 7 rows in total, with each box equaling 1 inch in width and height. And I'm also using my precision ruler comb just so that can help me measure out my boxes in case I want it to be more accurate. That always helps because it has a ruler on it so that you're able to measure your boxes. The gel that I'm using is Shine & Jam's braiding gel. Now this is a braiding gel that I use for all of my clients, but I like to make sure that I'm applying it to mostly her hair. I'm trying not to put it so much on her scalp, and I'm just making sure that my boxes are crisp and clean, and that when I'm parting my hair, I'm making sure that the rows are straight and even. So to do this, a tip that I have that helps is to take 5 steps back just to view your work to make sure that all the lines are even. For a style like this, you might not think that parting is important or that the parts really don't matter, but personally I think that when you have smaller braids and the parts look very neat, the style just comes out a lot more professional looking. So I still like to make sure my parts are on point, even though that the braids are small and that there's boho hair added. Now moving on to the knotless installation. So I'm starting off by splitting my box into 3 sections, and because these braids are small, you want to make sure that your grip is firm so that your braids aren't loose. So I'm starting off with the knotless braid, and I'm going to be adding in my braiding hair after that first rotation. Now, for how many pieces of boho hair to add? I added 4 pieces per braid. You can add more if you want more of the human hair added. You can add less if you want more of the braids being shown. But for me, I found like 4, maybe to 5 was the perfect number. As for pieces of braiding hair, I'm adding about 4 small pieces. You really don't want to make these braids too big because I wanted to go for like a very non-bulky look. But also because the braiding hair is short already, you really don't have to add that much. And towards the end, I tied a little knot and I left about a few inches of braiding hair. And that's because we're going to use the perm rods at the end to create that spiral curl. Now you might ask, how long did it take to complete this style? And if I'm being totally honest, it took about 8 hours. Now this might sound like a long time for some. Of course it takes longer when I'm recording content. But also, since the parts of these braids were pretty small, each braid does take a little bit of time to do so that the whole head can be pretty full. And also adding boho hair takes a little bit more time. So bottom line, don't try to rush if you want it to look good, but it could take anywhere from 5 to 8 hours. So just a heads up. When I got to the front, I like to put 2 pieces of curly hair right in the front 2 braids to kind of frame my client's face, and if they want to pull their hair back for any ponytail or half up, half down styles, this piece of curly hair is going to be in the front, kind of like a little accessory piece. But I like to do that for all of my boho clients, no matter the style or the length, color, whatever. And I do that, I just add in the piece and continue braiding, but make sure that I pull that curly piece to the front. I also did it on the other side as well, so there's 2 of these. So now I'm braiding down and I'm going to tie that knot and leave the excess hair. This does equal about bra strap length, which is perfect if you want to put your hair in a ponytail. It's going to be long enough to do that. Now it's time to dip them. So I'm using these spiral rods that I got from the beauty supply store. At first, I've really never used these, so I wanted to give them a try. I'm pulling out all of the boho hair so that it's not getting dipped. You don't want to dip your human hair because even though it is real, the hot water is going to alter the curls and just kind of make them look wonky. So I try to avoid that. So I'm taking my spiral rod and I'm wrapping the hair around the spiral. Now these did come with a little clip that you're gonna see me place on it, and this is just to hold the hair in place so that it doesn't unravel from the spiral. And then because I am adding kind of a lot of hair to this, I added an extra clip just to keep it secure so when dipping it doesn't start to come apart. I got 24 of these rods in total, and I kind of started to group together some of the braids just so that I wouldn't have to have literally 80 of them. But it ended up working out, and you're going to see me start to dip them. So I'm using boiling water that I put inside my kettle and boiled, and now it's inside a pitcher. And I'm also just going back to make sure that the spirals are actually in place, because sometimes when you dip them in the water kind of makes them unravel. So I'm just dipping them, going back, making sure that the ones that need a little extra help get the help that they need. And then once I've dipped, I'm now blow drying them into place. Now, you don't want to unravel them before they're kind of mostly dry, just so that the spiral can really be in a good shape. So here you can see it's looking cute, It does need a little bit of a trim on the bottom to get more of a blunt bob look. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going in with my scissors and cutting them. I did add some mousse just so I can get all the hairs to be tamed, and I'm also drying it just a little bit. And here is the finished product. This bob was super cute. Kira did wear these on her vacation to Jamaica. Look how cute the ponytail looks. I could not get over it. I loved this goddess knotless bob look, and if you guys enjoyed this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this from me, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to watch other braiding tutorials, check them out right here.